She was found stuffed in her own wardrobe. The unsolved murder of Antonella Di Veroli. On April 12, 1994, in a quiet, middle-class neighborhood in Rome, a woman opened her sister's wardrobe and screamed. Inside, crumpled in the dark, was the lifeless body of 47-year-old Antonella Di Veroli. She had been shot, suffocated, and then hidden like an afterthought. But what shocked investigators even more was how carefully the wardrobe had been sealed shut. Her pajamas were still on. There was no sign of forced entry. And yet someone had come into her home, drugged her, shot her, and left her to die in silence. Who murdered Antonella Di Veroli, and why? Before we begin, thank you to all our subscribers for your continued support. Your likes, comments, and shares help bring these stories to light and ensure victims like Antonella are not forgotten. If you're new here and fascinated by true crime, unsolved mysteries, and chilling cold cases from around the world, hit that subscribe button and join us on this journey into the shadows. This is Mystery Case Archives, and today we're diving into a murder that still haunts Italy to this day. Antonella Di Veroli lived a quiet, independent life in the Talenti section of Monte Sacro, a peaceful residential district in Rome. By all accounts, the neighborhood was clean, green, and safe, known more for dog walks and park benches than crime scenes. In 1994, Talenti wasn't a place where people locked their doors in fear. Antonella was 47 years old, single, with no children. She worked as an employment consultant, running a small studio from inside her mother's apartment. She was educated, financially stable, and socially active, known to be involved with two men at the time of her death. One was Umberto Nardocchini, a former lover and longtime friend. The other was Vittorio Bifani, a photographer who reportedly owed her a large sum of money. Their relationship had soured in the months leading up to her murder, but none of this raised red flags, at least not yet. April 10th, 1994 was just another day. Antonella spent time with a close friend, returned home, ate dinner, and made a few late-night phone calls, her last one ending around 11 p.m. The next morning, she didn't show up to work. Her mother, who shared the same building, was concerned. She tried calling. No answer. That evening, Antonella's sister Carla and her husband decided to check in. The lights were on inside the apartment, but there was no sign of Antonella. They were let in by a neighbor who had a spare key, and everything seemed normal, tidy, silent. Maybe too silent. Later that evening, Umberto Nardocchini arrived with his son and a police officer friend. They searched the apartment. Still no Antonella. But something felt off. Nardocchini asked if anyone had checked for shell casings. It was a strange question. There had been no signs of violence. They left with plans to return in the morning. What they found the next day would change everything. April 12th, 1994. Gloves on, hearts heavy, they returned. Antonella's apartment didn't scream crime scene, but as they moved through the rooms again, one detail stood out. One of the wardrobe doors in her bedroom had been sealed, literally sealed with putty. They pried it open. Inside, lying in the shadows, was Antonella. She was still wearing her pajamas. Her body had been stuffed inside, lifeless, twisted. Her killer hadn't just murdered her, they'd hidden her like a secret. The autopsy was grim. Antonella had been drugged, sedated with a substance that caused deep sleep. No pills were found in the apartment, which meant the drug had likely been slipped into a drink. Then, while she was lying down, someone shot her. Twice. Once in the temple, once in the forehead. Both bullets were from a small caliber weapon, and neither shot penetrated the skull. She was alive when it happened. Her killer then suffocated her using a plastic bag and a pillow to muffle the sound. There were no defensive wounds, no signs of struggle, and the front door hadn't been forced. Antonella had let her killer in. What's more haunting is how carefully they planned her death. The plastic bag, the silencer pillow, the drug, the sealed wardrobe. It wasn't rage, it was calculation. A female neighbor later told police she had heard a dull thud and hurried footsteps at around 10 p.m. on the night of April 10th. No screams, no gunshots. It was a silent murder in the heart of the city. And now, the questions began. The first man in the spotlight, Umberto Nardocchini. He had a motive, a history, and at first a suspicious story. He and Antonella had been romantically involved years before, but claimed they were now just close friends. They had gone out for pizza just one day before she died. Then came the red flags. He had tested positive for gunshot residue. He was present during the search and oddly suggested looking for shell casings. He claimed Antonella might have been kidnapped before her body was found. Investigators grilled him. He insisted he'd been to a shooting range a few days prior, which explained the residue. He denied ever suggesting a kidnapping, and he claimed to have no knowledge of Antonella's relationship with the other man, Vittorio Buffoni. In the end, there wasn't enough evidence. No motive, no weapon, no witness. He was fully acquitted, but questions remained. Why did he bring a police officer to the apartment that night? Why was he so involved yet so emotionally detached? If Umberto wasn't the killer, who was? Next came Vittorio Buffoni, a man with secrets, debt, and anger. Antonella had fallen for him hard. Friends said she adored him, and when he needed money, she lent it. A large sum. He never paid her back. Instead, he gave her an old gold wristwatch, his father's, a consolation prize. Their romance ended abruptly after his wife discovered the affair. But even after the breakup, Antonella felt uneasy. She told friends she was receiving threatening calls from Buffoni's wife. And then, the biggest twist, he too tested positive for gunshot residue. At first it looked bad, real bad, but soon the test was revealed to be a false positive. No residue was actually found, and no gun could be traced to Buffoni. Still, both he and his wife were charged, he with suspected murder, she with threats and attempted extortion. The trial began in 1995. It dragged on for 2 years. In 1997, both were fully acquitted. Vittorio went back to his life and died of a heart attack in 2003. But the stain on his name never truly faded. Was he truly innocent, or did justice miss its mark? As if things couldn't get worse, the investigation started to unravel. Key pieces of evidence went missing, vanished. The plastic bag used to suffocate Antonella? Gone. The wardrobe door, which might have held fingerprints? Also gone. No usable DNA. No confirmed third-party identity. Then came the most frustrating detail. Investigators had found a fingerprint on the inside of the wardrobe, one that didn't belong to Antonella, Umberto, or Vittorio. It matched no one in the system. Could there have been a third man? A mysterious figure Antonella never named? On Valentine's Day, just 2 months before her death, she'd bought 2 gifts. Not one. 2. One for each man, or one for someone else. We may never know. Before her death, Antonella had kept a diary, scattered entries, fragments of thoughts. In one, she wrote, "I don't need to offend anyone to feel accomplished, because I already am. But if this lone wolf still hasn't figured it out, I'll have to show him." That line haunted the investigation. Who was the lone wolf? Was it Vittorio, whose love turned cold? Umberto, who stayed too close for comfort? Or someone else? Someone none of us know? Antonella Di Veroli's case remains unsolved to this day. An attempt to reopen the investigation in 2011 led nowhere. No new suspects, no breakthroughs, and the story quietly faded, lost in bureaucracy, buried beneath time. What do you think happened to Antonella? Was it a lover, a stranger, or someone the police never even considered? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If this case gripped you, there are more haunting stories on the channel, some solved, some still waiting for justice. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Help us give voice to the voiceless. This is Mystery Case Archives. Thank you for watching, and stay safe out there.